When last we left our heroes, Nara the Drow Sorceress, Asmo the Sneckman Fighter, Danir the Catman Wizard, and Wolfgang the Angelic Warlock, in the shadow of the events of Reclamation Day, Wolfgang found himself in a stressful situation, having not only to find a place to hold the summit between the two quarreling nations that sandwich the lands of Silver Rock, while at the same time mounting a rescue efforts for the tribe of skinwalkers to the west besieged by the dread dragon Needhog. To add to his dilemma, he learned through Talia that the dragons not only had a hand in the assassination attempt of Ramses Palto, but they also had been spying on his council chambers for the entire time of his employ. While he was dealing with this fallout, a new dilemma came to the attention of Asmo and Danir, who discovered the shredded remains of two sorcerers at on a local farm. With a list of suspects and mounting clues, the two headed back into the city to find more answers. Nara, meanwhile, had traveled to the Arcane Academy to check on Dedra, and found Thurvian Haslafar in disarray as he learned the fate of the missing students. Revealing himself as a demon to Nara in his rage, he offered her an accord. How would you feel about going on a hunt? We open as the afternoon is slowly giving away to evening, with Asmo and Danir as they're heading back into the city, having freshly arranging all of my windows.
For flavor, real quick, Bob, how long does that spell you cast last?
24 hours.
All right. For flavor, Asmo has talked to Earth to leave two men there with the illusion and not to step in.
Yeah, they basically created a perimeter around the area, both making sure to look around to see if any suspicious people return and to make sure nobody travels in there without permission. You have pretty much freshly come away from your interrogation at the Green Fringe Farms and have made it back into the city proper. There seems to be no buzz about what is happening out that way just yet, or at least none that you're hearing. But word is slowly spreading through your own ranks of, keep an eye out, various people of interest to try to track down, specifically a Mr. Bergen, who you were kind of given as kind of a key name in this investigation, who matched one of the three profiles you were given by young Leif.
So the profiles were given by, sorry, I misheard you. Did you say young Leif?
Yes, right. Remember the psychic boy who gave you the three descriptions, the three photos?
Yeah, so we have something matching there now. So Asmo is going to be heading back into the city with Danir.
All right. Yep, you are currently there.
Okay. We're going to head to Wolfgang as soon as we can.
All right, you guys make your way over to the Kylum campus, which is the last place that you left Wolfgang. Find your way inside the Kylum itself, giving you some respite from the rains that are still picking up as the day passes on.
Yeah, Asmo's going to walk in with Danir.
All right. Yep. You walk in. The halls are kind of bustling with Kylum students as it's a little too rainy outside for all of the normal, everyday training exercises. So they've been acquiesced to the more academic nature of their studies. Heading inside, you find your way back to Wolfgang's office. And you see him sitting behind a large pile of paperwork, slowly but surely going through contracts.
Paperwork driving you crazy?
This world is driving me crazy, Asmo, but this is the latest in a long line of things that are making me lose my marbles. How can I help you?
Oh, I'm gonna put everything in perspective for you. We got a double homicide outside of town.
Wolfgang just slams his pen on the table. Puts both of his hands over his face. You don't say.
And I believe that the two are...
And Asmo just gestures his thumb to Denier. The two are, Asmo gestures.
They're Arcane Innate.
Oh, fucking bloody.
I've got 3 students missing from the school. And there's 2 corpses, at least pieces of 2 corpses up in a tree south of town.
Okay, Denier, here's what I need from you. Because you're part of the active investigation, I need you to go to the Magical Academy and find out who's missing.
I've already got
names and where they were.
I've got their names, but I don't have where they were. Gideon Rook, Colin Frosk, and Aiden Moore.
Those are the victims?
Those are the students that are missing from my school. Apparently, the teachers have taken notice of their missing, and they provided a list. Thankfully, Thermion had it whenever I needed it. No contact with any of them via sending. 2 of them are dead, 1 of them is missing. Possibly dead.
We have any leads?
Denier produces from his pouch the axe head.
Found on the scene.
We found it on the scene. It also led us over towards a farmstead where we found a lot of Yumberry wine.
And was provided a list of the suspects from the psychic. Remember our psychic ambassadors who swung by?
I
Of course.
do.
Well, guess what? You're gonna love it. He gave me a drawing of people standing at a table. Very unhappy looking people. It was a lead I followed, and the 3 of them ran off into the night. I tried to follow their leader, and did. He lived a normal life. Looks like that wasn't the one to follow. It was my mistake. But when we spoke to the local farmstead, we got a positive ID on one of them, looking identical to this one.
And Asmo points the correlation out.
The name that has been scrawled on the paper with the correlating after getting the ID from the farmer, Mr. Arik Greenfringe. The name on the paper is Hans Bergen. Silver hair with an eye patch and has big fluffy mutton chops.
So we need to find him.
Would I have heard of any of these people before?
If you look at, are you just looking at the? This is the only one that has a name on it attached to it. You haven't gotten names from any of the other people yet.
Gotcha.
But no, you would not have heard this guy's name before. Like, there are so many people that live in Silver Rock. There's no way that you'd know everybody. You don't even know if this guy's necessarily from Silver Rock.
Everybody calls you friend.
Alright. So, that's the long and short of it. Do you want to see the crime scene?
Well, I'm not sure what I could decipher from it that you couldn't.
Well, okay, then that leaves me to coordinate with my local force and try and find this guy. The thing is, he worked at the farm, and they seem to be completely ignorant of him, but it still makes me wonder why he would choose his workplace to display the body. And to make matters worse, right nearby the scene, only a couple 100 meters away, was an entire cache of youngberry juice, stored in a bunch of cans. I can't help but feel that someone's trying to pull something here.
You're saying there's people trying to plant evidence on this farmer's land to try and
Not
slow down progress on this investigation?
If you were gonna do a crime, would you do it at your workplace, right next to a bunch of other drugs?
Well,
No, that doesn't sound like a smart plan, which leads me to believe that that was done intentionally, or at least done in haste. In either or. I don't know why.
Well, I'll do some poking and prodding, see what I can find out.
Okay, we're gonna have to tackle this from multiple angles here. I have 2 of my guards on it right now, as far as I'm concerned. This is the best I can give you right now about this. This is very suspicious, on top of it already being obviously what the horrible thing it is, but the circumstances of it make it even more confusing to me. I wonder if they're just doing this to try and catch me up and then target the farmer for drugs and blame him. Or I don't know if that was their intention, because the farmer believably didn't know what had happened. I mean, we know the youngberry juice has been a problem here, but to see it so directly in connection to this right beside it is very... It feels intentional.
At the same time, it could be entirely coincidental, an entirely separate subject.
Was there a lot of it?
Yes.
Oh,
How much
yeah.
was it? It was several drums, right? Like, it was a lot.
Yeah, there were a good number of casks, one of which looks like it had been opened.
Yeah, good number of casts. I think one was already open, too.
They
How
were just
big were the casks?
How big were the casks? I remember they were like a big drum, right? They were like very large.
They were kind of in those, you know, those like big old hillbilly 3X jugs, the kind of, like probably about like a 3-gallon handle. Like, and each of those was in one of those. Essentially, like there were probably about upwards of a dozen of those. So
they were disguised as magical fertilizer.
enough to be considered ready for distribution. Currently, your people are in the process of cataloging it all, taking it all, and will eventually fine him 1,000 gold per liter.
Uh-oh.
No, so I don't know if these are unconnected or connected, or there's an attempt to connect them to throw us off. Sutter, it's just an attempt to throw us off this entire thing. I don't want to get caught up on this too far, because they might be 2 separate crimes entirely. And as far as I'm concerned, murder is worse than drugs. Just is. I don't think you're going to argue about that point. So, I'm going to be coordinating with Earth, and we're going to try and find this guy. Based on who it was, he was dressed up in robes the other night, but as far as I'm concerned, I think he might have switched out. He might have skipped town or might be running away now. This guy shows up at work again, however, all hunky-dory. It's going to be awkward because there's a bunch of guards outside his workplace, so I don't think he's going to come back. So, that leaves me with one thing. I need to bring in someone for questioning, and it's going to be one of the... And it's going to be very... Best way of putting it is going to be very challenging because it's going to put everything into politics, into a whirl, because it is... I'm trying to remember the name of the guy. The name of the guy who I was first investigating. Like, the guy was...
Figer Lonegrop.
It's Lonegrop. The one from the actual festival, the one I followed. This is one of the men who was with Lonegrop, and now he's being ID'd as a worker right next to where the murders are. This is our only connection, and I think it's enough to bring him in. At least to question him on his little conversation with a man who's now an accused murderer.
I'm somewhat curious about the axe itself. I'm tempted to attempt to scry on it to see who exactly owns it. To see if it was a stolen possession or if it was...
You can see right there, it's from the...
There's this one blacksmith as well, right? It was had a blacksmith name on it.
Yeah, it's from the Stone Knuckle Forges.
It's from the Stone Knuckle Forges, but they make a lot.
Yeah. Half the town buys supplies from him.
Yeah.
Well, you might be able to take it back to the broken stone knuckle and see if he can identify who he forged it for. Metalworkers tend to have a good eye for who they give their work to.
Alright, so the question is, do you want me to talk to Lonegrop? Or do you want to talk to Lonegrop as a politician, with you being the mayor, the lord of this land?
Asmo, to be perfectly frank, I've got a lot on my plate right now. I trust you to be able to handle this. I gave you the position.
Yeah, you also trusted me not to cause a political snafu. I particularly remember you repeating that multiple times, inebriated. So, all I'm saying is if I drag one of the former lords of the city as it was into a room and accuse him of employing a murderer, and that happens to not be true, it's not going to be good. However, letting him walk right now isn't good, especially if he knows something. I'm a catch-22 situation here, and I just need to know which way to go on this.
I can get you additional information if you wanna find out where this hooded fella is. I can attempt to find his location for you to give you a place to start.
Let's do that.
Well, you don't have to accuse him of anything. If you're just bringing him in for questioning, it could be just that. If he slips up, well, that's his fault. If anything crops up, I'll handle that side of it.
All right. Just know I tried to give you an out on this.
Lord of Light knows I could use more of those, but... Again, I did give you this job. You got a good head on your shoulders, in spite of everything.
Never could have a compliment without a butt, huh? Okay, well...
I'm saying I trust you. Bloody
I know, it's not the first mistake you've made. Alrighty, I got 2 things I need to take care of. I need to go talk to Lone Grop, and I need to go talk to Stone Knuckles.
Show me that it's not a mistake, Asmo.
Will do. Now, Denier, can you track this guy at all?
Well, you've got me his picture, and I know his picture, I know his name, I know his face, so that'll give
you know the
something.
name he gave. It's probably a fake name.
Still, it's gonna help.
Well,
it's gonna take about 10 minutes per scry. Which one is more important to you, finding out who owns the axe or finding out where this guy is?
you'll be able to give me his exact location?
You'll be able to see where he is at that moment. So if he's somewhere in town, you might be able to recognize where he is.
Wolfgang, my request of you bringing in Lone Grop, I might still do it, depending on whether or not where this guy is. And once if I have located this guy, I have an idea, and I think you'd like it. But I'll tell you more. I need to find out more about this.
If that's the way this swings, then so be it.
You'll
Keep
like
me
my
abreast of
idea.
anything you find.
Oh, I will. I think you'll like what I have planned here, if this works. Denier, if you could be so kind.
Lani, I'm going to go ahead and cast Scry on this particular hooded person of interest for Asmo. I have heard of the target, which means that he is going to get a bonus to his will save, but I have his picture, which is going to drop his save as well. So let me go ahead and get that up for you to be able to see it, and then I can calculate the save. So he gets a +5 because I have not met this man. Denier has not met this man previously in any way, shape, or form, correct?
As far as you know, yes.
Okay. So that will be secondhand knowledge with a likeness or picture. And I will say this for you to take into account, but I don't know if it's true or not. If I have a possession of his, he gets a -4 to the save. But I don't know if the axe is his or not.
All right.
So this is going to be -5. That's a +3 to the save. So he has to make a DC 17 Wisdom save, but he gets a +3 to the roll. If the axe is in his possession, that changes. if the axe is his, that changes to a -1.
Alrighty. All right, and you're using a crystal ball, right?
I am using a crystal ball, so Asmo and Wolfgang should be able to see it.
All right, you set the ball out and you begin casting Scry as Wolfgang continues to go through his paperwork. Asmo, you sit patiently. Wolfgang, as you do your paperwork, you look up as the image begins to kind of like flicker on the ball. The clouds within it kind of begin to disperse a little bit. And you see, kind of in a dimly lit room, a man sitting with a very long pipe, surrounded by like a few other people with similarly long pipes, some of them sleeping, taking kind of like an ember lit stick, putting it at the end of the pipe, inhaling. And as he leans back, you see the face of the man currently listed as Bergen, who exhales a plume of smoke. His one eye seems to kind of glaze over a bit as he exhales. Seems to be in a den smoking something with several other people around him. He doesn't seem to be conversing with any of them. They all seem to be minding their own business, doing their own thing.
Now, this den, given that we can, we have a sensor within 10 feet of him, so we can see and hear through those. So we can see and hear through the sensor. It can move around, but is there anything that we can identify about this den? Anything on the walls? Are we like underground? Are we above ground? Any windows?
It seems to be very shabby. Like it's of a construct that seems very old, not very well kept. The furnishings are plush but squalid. The people around him seem to be less like they seem like a sordid lot, not exactly the high society bunch. Very down on their luck, downtrodden. Many of them look like they are like a few of them look like they have large injuries on them. Like a couple of people look like they're missing feet or maybe like a some portion of some limb.
Oh my god.
A lot of scars.
And a number of them are currently asleep. Now, given that Asmo has pictures of these various people, of the companions of Bergen, do I spot any of these other people in the room with Bergen?
Go ahead and give me a perception check. The room is fairly dimly lit, and you are looking at it through a ball.
Let's see. 16.
16? They do not appear to be there.
All right, Asmo, it doesn't look like his buddies are there, but what do you make of this particular den?
Where is this located at?
Unclear.
I'm so sorry. Did something cut out there?
We don't know where it is, but it's very shabby. My guess is it's somewhere in the slums. Like around the area. It might be like the general area of where you found Dedra.
Yeah, if it's in the city, it does look slummish on the inside of this building, wherever he is.
Slummish. Well, we have the direction we have to target. I have that much at least. Thank you.
Looks like it's some kind of... There's a lot of people here. Might be like some kind of a bunkhouse. Might be some kind of a safe house. A lot of people look hurt here. Looks like old injuries.
How many people?
How many are in there?
Around him, Probably like 4 or 5 people in that room, kind of on various... I wouldn't exactly call them cots. They're more like just kind of cushioned areas in various portions of the ground of that room. Like a place where people would have thrown old pillows or stuffed
Does
mattresses.
it look like Dedra's old house?
Not exactly.
Okay, but it's similarly. Okay.
Well, at least I have a
Yeah,
direction to go now. All right, that'll do. Thank you, Daenerys. I need you to. I need you to find. I need you to go. I need you to talk to anybody who has spoken to those adepts. The last ones to see them. I can send my guards to do it if you'd like. But they'll just be running around there asking questions, causing a big stink. If you could go find out specifics of who the last time they were seen, we can create a timeline at least.
I can take a look. Given that the festival was happening, I can at least talk to the school, see what's going on. I'm also going to check in on this axe as well.
At least if you want to take care of the axe, I was going to do that.
Well, I'm going to scry on the axe to see exactly, who owns it.
Okay.
See if I can get a lead from there.
Fair enough. Keep forgetting you can do that.
And Daenerys going to take that time, burn the spell, and he is going to cast Scry on the axe. Given that this is a possession, they're going to get a -4 on their wisdom save. So that's a DC 17 with a -4.
Alrighty. Meaning there is only one roll they could get to beat it. I really hate to be the bearer of bad news, but your spell does not go off. Goddamn.
Now, given that it didn't go off, and I am a specialist in abjuration, can I tell if they just resisted the spell, or can I tell if it was magically blocked?
Give me an Arcana check.
Okie doke. 16.
I'll give it to you. It seems as though it was resisted.
Interesting. It would seem the owner of this axe was able to resist my spell.
What?
So yes. Anytime that I tried... Whoever owns this axe was able to resist the spell that I just tried to put on them. So we're not dealing with magic. We're not dealing with abjuration. So I might have to try again later to figure this out.
What can you tell me about the fact that you can't find it that easily?
It means that whoever is the owner of this is either resistant to magic, strong-willed, or it wasn't magically deflected, so it can't be any kind of non-detection magic, so it can't be abjuration. So either...
Probably also means they're still on this plane.
Oh, there's that.
Asmo says sarcastically.
It could also mean they're just immensely lucky.
Them lucky gooses.
It's like they had a 5% chance of...
I might have to meet up with Thermion to pick his brain, see what's going on.
Okay. Well, I'll be taking this. I'm going to be going and finding out what I can. Thank you. I'll be off.
Do you want to bring Nara in on this?
Can you find her? I don't even know where the hell she is right now.
Nora is good at tracking people down.
Well, if I bump into her, I will involve her. But if I don't, I gotta keep moving on this, especially if this guy's moving.
All right.
Denier, see if you can get a hold of her if we're not able to find her.
Speaking of which, Nara. Would you have just followed Thermian Haslafar in his hunt after he offered you the opportunity?
He kind of said the magic words.
It's true.
So, yeah. Not smart, but... How would you feel about a hunt? Do you want a large bag of candy on Easter? Like, same thing. The answer was yes.
All right. Candy and a free van ride.
Yeah, basically that's what's happening.
All right. So you find yourselves traveling towards the slums of the city right now. You kind of just made your way through the main thoroughfare and are currently entering towards the seedier regions of the city. He has a full cloak over his head. He has re-illusioned his hands to look normal. Upon further inspection, not only did it look like he had two left hands, but his fingers actually looked like they bent backwards when you were looking at them. Like the joints went towards the back of his hand rather than the palm, or more so the palm was at the top of his hand rather than the bottom.
Okay.
Just a fun little thing that happened, I guess.
Totally fun. Totally just not a problem at all.
Yeah. It's great for party tricks. But as you travel further in, he has like a very determined look on his face as you walk down the streets. Every time a bolt of lightning clashes, you just kind of see his kind of scowling face as he's like looking left and right for any signs of what he saw in his scry.
So, what exactly did you see again?
I saw discarded body parts. They were on these filthy streets. I'm hoping we can find them before the rain washes anything away.
Oh. Do you remember anything else that you saw when you were looking?
Yes.
He says, looking up. And he points at what looks to be a green sign hanging off the side of a building.
I remember that sign.
It appears to have kind of like a worn down, like, it looks like it was once vibrantly painted. It seems to depict a worn rooster.
Okay.
With what was once probably brilliantly painted plumage, but is now kind of like chipped away to just look like carved wood.
Okay. Name? Or...
go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. 16.
From this distance, you can read the sign just fine. The pointed cockerel.
The pointed cockerel.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yes. I saw pieces around this. It was down an alleyway. One of these alleyways.
He starts glancing around. So you can make another perception check as he's kind of got a feral look about him right now.
21.
It's not hard for you to notice the sound of a pack of dogs fighting. They appear to be fighting over something.
She immediately runs over.
As you see, there are a bunch of scrappy dogs, some of which look like they definitely have some form of mange, fighting over a very large bone with a little bit of meat left on it.
She'll tap him and point.
He looks over and he sees the slits of his eyes narrow as he begins to walk towards these dogs. Roll something.
Intimidation.
Okay. A few of the dogs, some of the smaller ones, kind of immediately get the feel of a predator in their midst. You've had this effect on animals in the past as well, especially small ones that are very attuned to being prey. Some of the smaller dogs immediately start to run off, leaving what looks to be a large, almost seems almost like a Rottweiler-like breed, and what appears to be kind of like a wolf dog fighting over this bone. And as Thermion continues to approach, they both kind of turn to him and start growling.
Does Nara have any snacks? I forget. Let me look.
Oh, you got rations in your pack.
Oh, I do have rations.
Oh, fuck, no, sorry, I was metagaming. I'm sorry. Ah, fuck, it's been a while.
I was literally scrolling through my thing, so yeah. Nara will take out a ration and chuck it.
Give me animal handling with advantage.
Sweet. 21.
All right. Yeah, it's basically jerkied meat, but it is still meat, and it has the pungent smell of wild game about it. As they're growling at Thermion, they like stop for a moment and just kind of like sniff the air as you pull out these 2 wads of jerky and kind of toss them back. The dogs immediately start running for them. Thermion walks over to the dog teeth marked bone, picks it up. You see his eyes glow for a moment.
This was one of
Anything?
theirs.
Which one? Do you know?
He holds up the bone.
It appears to be a femur. Humanoid. But I can't be certain.
Do you think Denier would have better thoughts on that? I don't know how to do bone magic.
Biology isn't exactly his specialty either. And to scry on it would only lead to other pieces.
Right.
She looks up and down the alleyway. Are there any other bones or pieces of clothing or anything left behind?
Give me a survival check.
13?
With a 13, you do notice that it looks like the dogs had been fighting over a number of things. Other body parts may have already been eaten. You do see some cracked bones, some like little bits of bone left here and there. It seems some of the smaller bones may have already been devoured by these ravenous stray dogs, or maybe other creatures. It does not appear that any other whole bones are in the area.
Was there any clothing or items that may give us some clue as to who the bones belong to?
Give me an investigation check.
Okay. 8.
Does not appear to be like it's you're kind of on a like this area that you're in, specifically this alley appears to be at kind of an incline, and it's raining, so it's possible that some of the stuff that you're looking for might have been washed downward further into the gutters of the next street.
Okay. Interesting for me. Okay. looks up at Thermion.
He seems to be looking around the area as well, doing very similar kinds of investigations as you, but in his current composure, that being very much a lack of composure, he is not having much luck either.
Okay, so it did the bone pieces. Yes, they were chewed by dogs. Is there anything that would give us information of, like, was the bone hit with something?
The bone that he is currently holding?
Sure.
Go ahead and give me medicine check?
17?
Not bad. It appears the only damage to this bone, there does appear to be some abrasion near the top, near where the jointed part of the bone is. It looks to be a couple of blade marks, probably from being carved. The rest of it appears to be cracked and bitten up, like purely from the dogs chewing at it. So you know this part of the limb was severed by a blade, probably by a number of strokes of a not a particularly wide blade. It's maybe it's definitely a blunt force smack of a blade too. Wasn't done by a slicing motion. It was done by hacking. Like a cleaver or an axe.
Right. So, whoever did this is not good at chopping things.
How do you mean?
Points to the top.
Blunt force object with a blade of some kind. They hacked multiple times. They weren't able to do a single clean blow and cut through.
Meaning they are not experienced at dismemberment.
Correct. But how would they stop a student like this and incapacitate them long enough to be able to hack them into tiny pieces?
Maybe we can find...
Let me look at his book of tricks. See if he has any spells that can help with this. I wish my notes hadn't been...
Oh my god, I feel so bad. Dude, I feel fucking horrible for you. Like, I legit feel frustrated. I'm feeling like sympathy frustration. I'm like, fuck. Well, now I don't want to, like, dig too deep because you lost all your gravel.
Yeah, as I thought, I don't think he has any magic specifically that helps with this. Although... the magic he has on himself right now might actually give him help here. So let me give him... Okay, thank God that one was much better. His what's that plus... he is able to follow a bit of a trail. There does appear to be some residual magic in the blood of the sorcerers, and while diluted by the rain, he does notice a bit of a trail that leads further down the alley.
Okay.
As you get further down, you notice that there's kind of like almost kind of a makeshift dam of sorts, created by like rubbish and debris scattered in this alley. You can go ahead.
Scans it. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and give me another perception check, as he begins kind of like digging through it as well.
Natural one.
Ouch.
This isn't a social encounter.
There's nothing immediately apparent to you, but I will allow you to give an investigation check as well. I know those aren't quite as good for you, but
12.
12.
Worse than your
Less
natural
than my
one.
natural one.
Fuck.
see.
I feel so fucking horrible.
Nara
him-
is okay. This actually makes sense for what's happening in my brain. Nara is looking around, but is a little distracted.
Throw me in 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
And goes into the pointed cockerel.
Okay,
the pointed
you
cockerel.
go. Yeah, you go across the street into the what looks to be an old tavern.
Rushes straight to the barkeep.
Sure thing. Give me a.
There's like 2 frames with you running. It's like 2
Yeah.
It's quite
like Luffy falling off of that pillar, just clapping his
We
hands
haven't
and getting up and shuffling.
You know,
Yeah.
for everyone talking, man, it's a shame that One Piece fans almost ruined that for everybody.
Oh my god.
I'm joking. Calm down, chat.
Wow. Wow.
As you wander in, the place is dingy, dimly lit, and filled with the type of people that maybe have like a few silver to their name.
Oh, also would scan everyone who's in there, especially who's sitting near the front windows. And if it looks like they've been there a long time, or and how intoxicated they are.
There's a lot of people to scan here. You can give
Mainly
me
the
a.
people up at the windows, like who are sitting near the front.
All right. Go ahead and give me just kind of a general insight check of the room.
23.
God damn.
There we go.
All right. Well, I'll give you the general demeanor of these people. None of them appear outwardly suspicious. A lot of them look very downtrodden. Maybe a little defeated, staring into their bowls of brown with watered down ale sitting beside them.
How singular is the violin sadly fiddling?
If they were able to afford a troubadour of any good account, yeah, this is not the kind of place that people go to get tips. So passing the hat around here isn't exactly going to get you much. There's not a lot of merriment, but this place is fairly crowded with, the people that would normally be kind of like lining the streets or maybe doing some grunt work elsewhere. But currently, it's rainy, and there's not a whole lot of outside work to do at the moment. So most people have just kind of gathered in here either to get out of the rain, but they have been forced to spend what copper they have on maggoty bread, less than cheese, bowls of brown, and watery ale.
Wow.
Are the bowls of brown not the watery ale? Or?
The bowls of brown might be made of the same stuff. It's probably made from the leftover gunk at the bottom of the ale distiller, and then just boiled and turned into a lovely aromatic lukewarm bowl of mush.
So, what did my insight tell me? That? And then...
Essentially, yeah, none of these people are outwardly suspicious. There is one twitchy person kind of sitting by a window who looks at you as soon as you come in and notices that you're scanning the room, but as soon as they notice you scanning, you make brief eye contact, and they immediately flinch and start looking out the window again.
immediately walks up to them and sits down.
They begin twitching quicker as you sit next to them. This is a very wiry person, wispy, kind of like gray and brown hair atop their head. Seems to be humanoid, maybe half-halfling with the size they are, but they're incredibly lanky.
Hello there.
Hi. Hello. What?
Did you see anything strange outside recently?
Strange how? What's strange?
Someone carrying a bag of body parts.
Bag of body? Body bag. Bags of bodies.
Reacting to that?
He seems to be reacting to everything you say.
Okay, so he could just be very twitchy.
Could be. Bags of bodies, body bag, body, bag, body, bag, bags of body parts. bodies of bags. And he looks at you kind of like a somewhat like serious expression, like bobbing his eyebrows, like, you understand what I'm saying, right?
She just stares very calmly. Yes?
Go on.
The bags of bodies. They take the bags and then they fill the bodies with them and then they put them in here, and he points at his brain.
She takes a quick scan around the room to see who might have reacted to hearing body parts.
Go ahead and give me another insight check.
12.
Everybody seems to be minding their own business.
Okay. Barkeep time.
So they take he keeps mumbling to himself as you walk away.
Okay.
And you walk up to the barkeep. She's an older woman, definitely weathered. Doesn't seem like the type that takes much shit. Probably stands at about a solid 5'8", 5'9". Bigger in build. Definitely has some working muscle to her. You don't look like the usual clientele, doll. What can I help you with?
Just wondering if you've seen anyone carry anything into the alley next to your shop.
Carrying into the alleyway next to the shop?
Yeah.
What might they have been carrying? Refuse? Bodies?
Dead bodies.
Haven't heard that one recently.
That happen a lot down here?
Every now and again you find one. Dogs usually get to them first, though. Don't get a lot of law down these ways. I mean, they come, but people have a way of disappearing around here, if you know what I mean.
I do.
You seem like it. Get you an ale or anything, or are you only here for information?
Information.
I'm afraid that costs more than ale. She leans forward.
She looks around the room. How many people are in here?
Dozen, maybe two.
How much does an ale cost here?
A lot less than information.
How much, though?
$1 normally. If you want the good stuff, I'll stir it around a little bit and you can pay $3.
How many coppers are in a gold?
100.
She just sets a gold on the counter and goes,
For everyone. I have work to do.
You don't want your information? She slides the gold and kind of like puts it between her breasts.
I do, if you have it. But if not.
All right. As I was setting up for the day, real freaked out looking, I don't even know if it was a guy or a lady or man in a cloak, was wheeling something. What do you call that thing? She kind of like holds up two hands and just like gestures like a lifting motion and a pushing motion.
Wheelbarrow?
One of those things. Shoved it into the alley. Didn't really get a good look at what was going on over there, but didn't exactly look on the level.
Freaked out guy and girl?
Or a girl. I didn't really get a good look at it, alright? Like,
That's alright.
could have been a ghost for all I know. All I know is wearing a cloak that you wouldn't normally see around here. Looked fancier. Bluish, I think. I don't know, the light was kind of dim.
A ghost, maybe. Blue.
Stranger things have happened.
I wouldn't be surprised. I've been around many of those things. Was there anything else that you could tell me?
They look like they were in a rush. Kind of panicky. Definitely looked like they hadn't done anything like that before. Always looking over their shoulder.
Alright. Thank you for the information.
No problem.
Hopefully that will take care of... How many long-standing tabs do you have here?
Yeah. She spits in a glass and starts wiping it down with a dirtied rag. Oh, I don't open tabs here. Learned that a long time ago. Payment up front or no service.
What was your name?
Hilda.
Hilda. I may visit again if that's alright.
Well, if you need more information, I'm your gal.
I appreciate that, Hilda. Thank you.
Appreciate the business.
Nara looks over the room.
Enjoy your drinks, everyone. From the Queen of the Maw.
The maw is the bodies. The bodies in the maw. The maw, the bodies in here that they take from here. And he points at his chest as you walk away.
Yep. Yep. Thank you. She will go back to Thermion.
Thermion has found a skull in your absence.
Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o.
It seems mostly defleshed, but there are long strands of kind of platinum blonde hair. Looks like they've been in a torn braid. He's just kind of like set it down on a pile and is just like sitting and like kind of like sit in a very deep squat, just staring at it. His hands, fingers kind of steepled beneath his chin as he grimaces.
Who was it?
This is young Kylan. She has the same marks of that blade at the base of the skull.
That was one of the students.
Yes. She was very bright. Very talented.
Nara's gonna go up and examine it.
All right, what would you like to glean from this skull?
I'm assuming it was eaten by the dogs, right?
It does appear to have like a couple of gnaw marks on it, though by smaller teeth.
Smaller teeth.
Yes. Some of the flesh is still on it, mostly on the back of the scalp. There's still some flesh kind of covering like part of the jaw. Part of the cheek is still there. A lot of it appears to be gnawed away. You can go ahead and give me a medicine check if you would like to. If you would like to know more.
21.
21. Yeah, it looks like rodents had gotten to it.
Okay.
The eyes have been devoured or removed.
She's holding the skull and looks back at Thermion.
Who wears a blue cloak?
Blue cloak.
Blue.
Well, they aren't exactly unpopular, but...
You notice that Thermion's cloak is blue.
She looks him over.
It's
Who would you consider is green, new, that wears a blue cloak?
new. How do you mean exactly? I don't exactly keep tabs of the social circles of this city.
not experienced in life. Have you come across anyone that wears a blue cloak that is like that?
I mean, our students wear blue cloaks.
The students do.
Yes. So do many people.
Why would they have had a wheelbarrow?
A wheelbarrow?
I went inside. The barkeep saw someone wearing a blue cloak, nervous, looking over their shoulder, had a wheelbarrow filled with parts. There should be one nearby, I would assume. Where would they get a wheelbarrow?
Denier, were you going to cast Sending on Nara?
Absolutely.
At this point, you hear Denier's voice.
Currently doing an sorcerer murder investigation. Need your help. Where are you?
Is it in her head or out loud that she has to speak?
It's in your head.
25
Wait,
words?
do they have to reply audibly?
Let me go ahead and get the... Let me trigger that spell for you.
Thank you. Okay. Send a short message of 25 words or less to a creature with which you are familiar. The creature hears the message in its mind, recognizes you as the sender if it knows you, and can answer in a like manner immediately.
I would say, due to the fact that the components are verbal.
Oh.
Hmm.
I am with Thermion. Found a body. Used a wheelbarrow. Blue cloak. Used blunt weapon, maybe an axe. That's what she'll say.
Thermion would reply to you.
Was that Denier?
Yes. Seems like they found... You said you saw more?
Yes.
Think
There
they
are-
found him.
Second, let me see. So that is another sending to Nara. Axe was used. Second sight. If body is found, seek the guide. He can speak with dead. Where are you? I'm coming.
Slums. Pointed cockerel. Good idea. Should I stay and wait or go straight to the guide?
That one doesn't get a response.
He'd have to cast again. It's expensive.
Right.
My spell slots are very few at the moment. Denier is on his way.
Okay. Looks at Thermion.
What does he say?
He says he's on his way. We should stay put for now.
She, Her eyes dart around a couple different directions.
Stay here and wait for Denier. I'm gonna get an overhead look and try and find the wheelbarrow.
Okay.
She'll hop on her pixie stick and jettison straight up and start scanning the streets.
Give me a perception check.
Natural 20.
God
32.
damn. I mean, I'm not saying that you had to go like above a 30, but this was going to be hard to find.
Well,
yeah. As you fly above the city streets, or like kind of like scan the area, you kind of stick in kind of like a 1-block pattern. You notice a what looks to be kind of like a bit of debris and stuff, and like a bit of wind catches a tarp that almost looks like it's, you know, being set up as like a bunch of refuse, set above a bunch of refuse. As the tarp flaps, you see the inside of a bloody wooden bucket that appears to be part of the wheelbarrow.
okay. Is there anyone nearby?
There are a couple of vagrants nearby, kind of sitting under some slanted rooftops, staying out of the rain. They don't even appear to know what they're next to.
Okay.
One of them is wearing a blue cloak, however.
How close are they to it?
Within 10 yards.
Okay. Okay. How far away am I from Thermian at the moment?
You're about, like, if you exited the alleyway that he is in, you were at the end of a street and, like, a little further, you were kind of, like, at the next intersection to the east, and then a little further north towards the maw.
Okay, so I flew a pretty decent distance then.
Not really. You're probably about, like, 40 yards from him, if you were
really?
to go down there.
But directly up, how far am I from him?
Oh, directly up?
Yeah.
Probably about 30 feet in the air, so maybe
Okay.
about 80 to 100 feet away from him.
Okay, amazing. So she's gonna use message. Okay, great. Yep. Uses message.
Thermian, I found it.
You see him immediately perk up.
Stay
He
put.
looks up. He looks up to you.
I need you to stay put and wait for Denier, but I'm going to investigate a bit further. It seems unattended.
He begins to follow where you are as he picks up the skull. He doesn't seem to be taking your word as an order.
Thermian, if you want this to go well, I need you to wait for him. He knows where you are currently, all right? I will make sure it does not move.
He steps out at least onto the street corner, closer to the pointed cockerel, which is the word that you said to Denier.
Thank you.
Thankfully, that's a cantrip. She will just watch and kind of wait for Denier to come, just to make sure it does not leave. And is also trying to not be noticed.
Give me stealth with disadvantage, as you are currently
Way
in
up
the sky. Yeah.
I know. 10.
None of the vagrants by the wheelbarrow seem to notice you.
Okay, great.
A few
She's
people
mainly
on this.
focusing on the one with the blue. Anyone with the blue cloak is her main focus.
Yeah.
How many blue cloaks are in that area, by the way?
I mean, it's kind of harder to tell for some of them, given the fact that it's very wet out. Some of them, like, look darker shades, but his looks, like, the one that you're looking at appears to be relatively new. Like, it's definitely a much nicer cloak than anybody has in this neighborhood. And I am going to roll something. Yeah. Thermion does notice the area that you're looking at. And he does begin to encroach upon the person wearing the blue cloak at a fast, almost predatory speed.
Thermion, we need to do this in a very specific way, or things will get messy and we will not have information. I've done this my whole life. Please do not complicate this.
Give me persuasion.
29.
Pretty persuasive, not gonna lie.
It is very persuasive. He slows down. And he stops.
I swear
He looks up at you, and you can see this fire in his eyes.
you were right to invite me on a hunt. Now let me do what I do best. Alright?
While you guys wait for Denier. Asmo.
Asmo's walking right to the blacksmith right now.
Yeah, you make your way to the blacksmith. You make your way to the Stone Knuckle Forge. You walk into its doors, and I should have a smithy sound here somewhere. At least I thought I did. Oh well. This'll do. It's a bit more industrial, but as you walk into the smithy, the forge is burning hot today, but there appears to be like a lot of steam in the room because all this needs to be ventilated somewhere, and there's some rain getting in. So there's like a thick steam hanging above your head as you walk in. It feels almost sauna-ish, which is very nice for your cold blood. You hear kind of in the back of the room, "Hey boy, pump the forge harder!" Phoo, clang, clang, clang. All right, trolley. Get for the dredge. And as the familiar face of Broken Stone Knuckle kind of rounds the corner, pulling down some very dark tinted goggles. Hey. If it ain't the sheriff! Long time no see!
Unfortunately, I gotta come to you here for work. So, sorry to derail. Do you have a room we can have a meeting in real quick?
I ain't got much business going on here, but, sure, take it back to my office. Boy! Keep working that blade! I want that thing sharp enough to shave my ass! He looks at you. He looks at you. It's where my densest hairs are.
You don't say.
Yeah, too much information. Come on.
I can't disprove what he said. Like, that's the sad. I don't want to find out though.
You can, but how brave are you today?
I don't know if it's necessary for the.
Dare you brave the thicket of. Anyway.
Now that's what a big ass person with a hairy ass says. Welcome to the thicket.
You step back into what could be described as a managerial office. It's covered in kind of like specs and various ideas for, blades, armor, weaponry. a whole bunch of like metal composite like notes and stuff like that, just kind of scribbled everywhere, and then just piles of gold scattered at various corners of the room. He goes and sits down on a dwarf-sized chair. There is another dwarf-sized chair across from him in this room. So what can I do you for?
Asmo, actually, hold on.
Goes, well, one of your pieces of tool was used. Well, I need to put you on a mum's the word.
Kind of taps his nose holes.
Aye, any friend of a Master Garrick I can keep a secret for.
You have to consider this an official sheriff request. That's how official this is.
That's what kind of bobs his eyebrows.
Yeah, because one of your tools was used in a murder.
That's what kind of bobs his eyebrows. Just, yeah.
He pulls off the goggles and just kind of like rubs his forehead a little bit.
I always gotta wonder, working something like this, you always gotta wonder about that, yeah.
Aye, for the love of death, what is,
Here,
Asmo produces it.
this is the item in question. Basic hatchet from you guys, unless you can tell me more. Oh, there's something I'm not noticing.
Aye, came from our forge relatively recently. It's got the boy's maker's mark on it.
The what? The who?
The boy! Boy!
He like kind of like slams the table a few times.
Put down the hammer!
And around the corner comes a very sweaty Tobias Smith, who kind of like wipes his forearm against his forehead as he like kind of like removes the sweat from it.
Yeah, boss. Oh. Hey, Sheriff.
How's it going?
Going all right. Anything I can help you with?
Let's have a seat. Let's have a seat right down over there. Thank you.
Okay, I'll just he kind of brushes some papers aside and sits on a chair, like kind of pulls over a chair that was in the corner of the room.
Do you mind? Let's look at Stone Knuckle. Do you mind if I just question him real quick? Just
go for it.
Stone Knuckle tosses the blade at Toby, who like catches it before the blade like catches him in the chest.
Oh, it's got your mark on it.
One of your creations was used in the part of the murder of 2 people.
Yeah, it's looks to be a carpenter's hatchet. I made a lot of these. It was one of the prizes we gave away for our axe throwing competition. I think this must have been from one of the winners.
So you're saying this was given out for the competition for the festival?
Yeah.
How many of these were there?
Let's see, we had about...
Asmo's got like a little notepad. He's like a little notepad.
We had a little over 24 winners, and of those, hold on, I kept documentation. Let me see if I can find the
Trent,
how
you
many
have
of
no
these
idea.
were given out.
You have no idea how great that is to hear.
Yeah, the boy's a wizard with the paperwork. I mean, I can't keep track of shit.
Neither
He
can
kind
I.
of motions around the room.
Hey, this is like what I like to call you understand this room. No one else does. That's what makes it a...
Exactly! Try telling him that.
Well, what can I say?
Thanks again for recommending the boy. He was shite at first, but he picked up real quick.
No, I was a kid. You should have seen my first month doing this job.
I saw the first blade he gave you.
Yeah. Sorry, I gotta come here with this dour subject.
Toby returns with what looks to be a kind of a rough ledger.
Yeah, we had a couple, about 24 winners, and we gave out 10 of these. I guess I can give you the names, though not everybody. They all just kind of signed their names, so I didn't really get, full marks on them. They're mostly initials.
Okay.
Sorry, I have to re-come up with these again. I remember.
No worries. That's why I was. We appreciate you doing that.
No problem.
I believe. No, I've been playing a game lately, which will help me with this. I've been playing Disco Elysium.
Yeah?
Yeah, I have been. So now, Asma's brains is having different parts.
I haven't gone through it since they re-added the sound of since they added full voiceover.
Oh, there was a version of that without full voiceover?
Yeah.
Ugh, I don't know about that. I love the voiceover in it. It's great. Without it, I'm like, I don't know.
All right. He gives a list. Yeah, I only had them initial. I hope that doesn't take too much away from you.
Whoa, no, you're already any information you're giving only helps me narrow what I'm looking for here.
And we got a list of names. Now, the name of the gentleman in question here, right? Let me just write this down properly here. The name of the gentleman who we actually questioned at the what we got the idea of at the farm. His name was what? His name was what again?
I don't know why I broke it up like that, but the guy that you got the information on, his name was Hans Bergen.
As Asma goes down the thing, it goes,
WS, no. No.
Asmo sees that, the HB, and taps it immediately. And turns it.
HB, you remember what this guy looked like? Hold on.
I'm gonna give him a. Oh,
hold on, Asmo.
And does this help?
Asmo shows the picture of the Hans Bergen based on the drawing from the psychic.
All right, that'll give him advantage on his check. That guy does look familiar. I don't remember if he
was he wearing.
Not, but
he was wearing travel robes at the time and a hood at least. I don't know if it was.
I remember seeing him at the festival, but I remember so many faces.
No, that's if you remember him at all.
That guy was the three people who were there.
He like points at him like, no, he has a very distinctive face. I remember that face.
Yeah, that's a face only. That's a face everyone remembers. So you're saying this is the one? You're saying based on your best guess that this is the guy who handed this hatchet to, huh? At least one of the hatchets to.
He might have been.
Okay.
It's a little foggy and.
There was a lot of people. There was a lot of noise. There was a lot loud, and the last thing you were expecting was having to ID one of them for a murder.
I do remember that face.
All right. So you're saying you remember him and him being around you? You're saying?
Yeah. I remember seeing him around the festival grounds and being. I was in close proximity with him at one point. He might have been one of the people that played.
Was he hanging out with anybody else?
I remember...
Two. There were two other people. Do you recall them?
This would be if he was alone or not. At that point. That's what I'm asking.
Give him another check here.
No worries. It's one of those things where in this he was never expecting to have to look back at this. Also, that would be a blur running a booth at an event. Ah! You remember this guy? Kinda.
If I'm gonna be honest, I was more focused on the tournament than anything else that week.
Understand. Alrighty. Well, thank you for this information. Is there anything else you can tell me?
Oh.
Did he say anything?
I can't remember.
Nothing sticking out.
I did a lot of talking that day. Well, those days. I can tell you that the blade seems to be a bit warped, blunted at the end.
You're
made contact with some solid substances.
Would bone classify as that?
Yeah, I think it would.
Okay. Well, sorry to tell that one of your tools you made was used for something so grisly. But the information you've given me has been really helpful. It also proves that he was here. So you're giving me a timeline of everything. Now knowing he didn't just come in and buy it, instead wanted it as a prize, it makes a bit more sense why he would use it that way.
I guess it's kind of the risk of making weaponry.
It's all a... especially a weapon like this. It's meant to be used to chop wood. But even a stick is meant to be used to walk with. Everything can be used in an evil way.
I suppose so.
So, alrighty. I think that'll be good. If you
Well,
have
if
any
there's
other
anything else, if there's
well-
anything else I can help you with, or anything I can think of, I'll pass along what information I have.
Don't talk to anybody about this in the next 48 hours. Next
Sure,
2
and
days.
Go ahead and keep that ledger.
I will. Thank you. Especially considering.
I'm meaning to
Curious.
open up a new one now anyway. I got a few other designs in mind. Well, thank you for dropping by, Mr. Asmo. Sorry I couldn't be of more service.
No, you already were of service. This was I just wanted to know if he bought it. Or at least it came from you. And see if you remembered him.
Yeah, well, if you ever need any of your blades sharpened, I'm always open. We're always open, boy.
At the end of this investigation, I may need them resharpened. If you catch my drift. All right. Thank you so much. If let's talk to Stone Knuckle for a second there, if you'd be so kind.
Yeah, sure. Blade should be done with its bath anyway. And he steps back out into the forge.
Were you at the booth during the festival?
Nah, I was working the forge.
Surprised you weren't drinking.
I didn't say I didn't.
If you hear anything, Stone Knuckle, come to me directly, okay?
You got it, boss. He stretches his arms out, cracks his neck, cracks his back.
And by the way, I'm pretty sure, I had nothing for that, never mind. My brain's full of thoughts here.
Well,
They were butchered bad, Stone Knuckle. Displayed. Thrown around. Over up on a farm.
well, then I guess it's a good thing the Wraith is on the case, isn't it? And he winks at you.
Now. I haven't even needed to put that on in a long time.
Aye. Hopefully you never do, but should the need arise, it's one of my best bits of work.
It's your best piece of artificing. It's not just good engineering or just good metalwork. It's just good magic craft. And I hate magic. So, alright, I'm gonna let you go here. I gotta go converse with Earth now. But now I know that this was more than likely than not that the one person in question got the hatchet from your competition and used it that way. And now I've been traced back here, so now I know where it came from. But the real question is, if he had 2 other friends, did they also take part? And maybe their names are these initials. So you're giving me a good clue here, Stone Knuckle, you and your boy, so go easy on him. He clearly gives a shit. You can never ask, and you can never pay enough money for someone who clearly gives a shit.
Well, I do my best.
Nah, your work is so good that even murderers want to crack at it. A dark compliment. You have yourself a good day, Stone Knuckle.
You too, Snake Sheriff. He stretches his arms again.
Asmo just clasps his hands like a prayer, bows lightly, and just goes left and right with him like it's a snake.
And I'm away.
And as you leave and head back out into the city, here's where we'll take a quick break. Hey guys, Lani here. I just wanted to thank you for rolling with us. And if you wanted to catch us live, you can do so almost every Monday at 5 o'clock Central Time over on twitch.tv/Lanipator. Now, back to the show. All right, Denier. You found your way to the Pointed Cockerel. and you see Nara kind of standing just down floating in the sky. And furthermore, in a cloak, you see Thermian Haslafar standing at a street corner holding something under his cloak. He's just kind of like looking down. You can't quite see the expression on his face, but the expression about his body is anxious.
Denier waves at Nara before he approaches.
She looks down. Is Thermian looking up when she looks down?
He is staring at the he's staring at the quarry, like his what he sees as prey.
All right.
To make sure they don't try to make a break for it.
She uses message.
Thermian, he's here. Denier.
And she'll wave at Denier and then look back at the wheelbarrow.
All right.
Denier can respond to message, by the by.
Do you casted it to Denier, or did you cast it to Thermian?
She will now.
Thermian standing nearby.
However many feet away. It looks like he is, she will say.
I see him. I've got a lot to brief you on.
Found the wheelbarrow, and someone in a blue cloak. Looks new. Can't let them get away.
Understood. Silently, I approach Thermian, and I stand beside him watching the creature.
Silently, go ahead and give me stealth.
Well, I wasn't exactly trying to stealth, but sure. 15.
As you get closer, one of the people sitting at the corner, kind of wearing like a shabby gray getup, kind of starts to walk away, noticing that there are now 2 cat people just kind of standing in that area looking towards this group of vagrants, and this guy is just feeling uncomfortable. He gets up and leaves. At that point, the person in the blue cloak notices them getting up, and then looks over to you. And he sees the anger in the eyes of Thermian. And he begins to scramble to get away.
How far is he away, Lani?
From you at the moment, probably about 100 feet. Give me 1 second here.
Nara will descend in front of him.
Da 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 da.
Alright, yeah, he begins to run. At which point, Thermian bursts into a sprint as well. Nara, you are going to descend in front of him.
Actually, can I just suck him into the parallax? Because he doesn't see me.
He's too far away for that. You need to kind of be within touch range.
Okay, haste.
You haste yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Casting time, 1 action, aka about 6 seconds. You were a bit further away than Thermian, but you do get double your move speed, which I believe on the pixie stick is... what's the pixie stick's flight speed? 30 feet? 60?
60.
120 flight. You'd probably catch him at about the same time that Thermian would. So you'd kind of like cut him off directly in front, and as he kind of like turns, he immediately gets picked up by one hand by Thermian by the throat. Who like pulls him in, stares him in the eyes, and just growls and snarls. Get off me, man!
Nara. Oh, wait. Thermian got there first?
You got there at about the same time. As you got in front of him, which was your, you were trying to cut him off, right?
Right.
he turned and immediately got caught by Thermion. He was closer. He was closer, but you were faster.
Got it. Okay. She will sidle up in front of, next to Thermion, but in front of this guy.
Put me down. Do nothing, man.
Insight?
Sure.
That feels true or not? 14?
Well, he definitely didn't. Well, he definitely did something.
That's really not the thing to say. And we're kind of already upset, so you might want to start talking really fast.
Where did you get this cloak? I found it.
Where?
I found it in a pile over there. It was...
You notice that this cloak is specked with blood. Like, there are blood stains on the surface of it.
And you're fine with the blood all over it?
It's warmer than the one I had.
Is that insight? Does that seem true?
Go ahead and insight.
18.
He doesn't appear to be lying.
Looks at Thermion.
Based on what I saw on the gold pointed cockerel, he could be telling the truth. But let's go look at the pile. Don't
can't
choke him.
breathe.
We need words out of him. Thermion, we need words out of him.
You see his hands like grip a bit tighter as this man turns like a darker shade of red for a moment, but then he relinquishes, and the man drops about a foot onto the ground.
What the hell?
Come with us.
Denier, your right-hand man just picked up a dude with one arm and choked him.
Surprising, to say the least. Although, given my suspicions, makes sense.
We go back over to the wheelbarrow and the pile of stuff.
This isn't where I found the cloak. I found the cloak down there a little.
Don't worry.
But as you go over to the wheelbarrow, sure enough, you pull back the tarp. Do you pull back the tarp?
Yeah.
Yeah, inside is a bloody wheelbarrow with kind of a muddy wheel. Blood on the rim of it, blood in the bucket of it. Well, blood and water now. And the handle appears to have like stains of blood on it. The handles appear to have stains of blood on it as well.
She puts the tarp back over to keep the blood intact. Does it look like, looking at the handles of the wheelbarrow, underneath the handles where you would have had most of the weight, does it look like there is blood there? Like if they had to carry it a really far distance with their hand, if their hands wore down enough, there would be potentially blood from the person who was carrying it, correct?
The handles do appear entirely stained, yes.
Entirely stained as in like their hands were already covered in blood, or
either their hands were covered in blood or there was enough blood in the area to kind of like slosh out and get on the like parts of the wheelbarrow.
Denier, you use blood for things, don't you?
No,
I thought you did.
I can track people with blood or hair or nail snippets via scrying, but
We tend to forbid it on the school grounds as they are types of magic that are less than desirable in these lands.
Right, but are we at school right now? Is that a problem?
Thermion looks to you, Denier.
magic is only as dark or light as the person that uses it.
You're
If we
a pretty
need to
chipper
use it,
fella.
if we need to use it to find these people that did this to our people, then we use it.
I don't know anything about magic, man. I was just trying to stay warm.
Where did you find this cloak, when, and what else was in the pile of things?
I found it over here. And he guides you a little further north down this refuse pile. It was... I saw the corner of it peeking out under this. He, like, kind of points to what looks to be like an old bowl or something. Could be just like an old wicker basket. And as I pulled it out, it was, you know, a little messed up, stained a bit. But it looked like it was from some hoity-toity type, and it was real warm.
Looks at Thermion. Oh, well, insight, and then
Go ahead.
25.
He's telling the truth.
He means it, Thermion.
This belonged to one of our students. Did you see anyone leave it behind?
No, I swear.
Should I insight again?
He appeared to be telling the truth that he found it, so... Or at least in the way that he found it.
How about this? Go to the pointed cockerel, stay inside there. I'll pay a tab for you. Tell Hilda I said so.
I need money to go in there. Hilda doesn't exactly go on words.
I already gave her money. She should be fine.
You don't know Hilda very much, then.
She hands him 6 copper.
Oh, really?
Yes, now go. The cloak
Thank
stays
you.
with us.
Okay. And he, like, clasps it really tightly. Like, looks left and right and starts, like, running for the bar.
She gives a tiny salute.
Queen of them all.
Denier looks over as he's running off, then turns his attention back to the pair of them. What have you found so far?
From beneath Thermion's cloak, he produces the skull.
There's a look of immense sadness in Denier's eyes whenever he sees the skull.
This belonged to Kylan Frosk.
Nara, where's the guide?
I suppose it still does.
The guide is back with Dedra at the school. There has to be more information, though.
She looks around.
Give me an what are you trying to find specifically?
She's trying to see, like, why would the clothing have been just stuffed in a basket? Is there any clue of, like, a direction they might have gone, how long it might have been there, like, anything? Or anyone that is eyeing us like, I know what this is about, but I'm not about to get involved.
Go ahead and give me... Let's see. Looking for clues in the area would be investigation.
Okay.
I'll give Nara a hand with that.
13
then,
still.
Denier, you can also do an investigation. Your intelligence is...
18.
Yeah, that's pretty good. As the two of you kind of like split up and search for clues. Nara, you do find the clasp of the cloak kind of hidden beneath the refuse pile. Looks like it got torn off before whoever was wearing it is wearing it. Sure enough, it does appear to be a sigil from the school.
Okay.
Of the arcane. Denier, as you're looking around, you stumble upon kind of like a potent, sickly scent. It's got a it's got an alchemical scent to it. Like, it's not a natural chemical that you're smelling.
Mm-hmm.
As you're looking around, you find a what looks to be like a potion bottle in this refuse pile.
Can Arcana check to identify it, perhaps?
There is no potion left, but it does smell like it once contained like some type of magical concoction. Let me look up something real quick here. You can go ahead and, I mean, detecting magic, you would get trace elements of magic to it. So yes, there was once something magical in this bottle. Further, this bottle looks far more expensive than anything that would have been produced around here. Like, just by design.
Okay. Does this look like the kind of bottles that we use at the school?
Maybe? Go ahead and give me a... What would this be? I'll say another investigation check, probably.
10.
You have bottles that look similar at the school, but it could have been from any number of apothecaries that might also produce potions. Some even like former students of your school.
Found a potion bottle. Doesn't look like it's come from around here. He produces the bottle and shows it.
Nara's gonna sniff it.
Get a whiff.
Can she tell from whiff and or look alone?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a, I guess, a perception check. We'll see what you we'll see what you can glean from it.
19.
From scent alone, you can tell that this it has kind of a almost like a little dizzying aroma to it. Like it gives you this sensation of like kind of like floatiness, almost lightheadedness even, you could say. Does not smell like it's a potion, doesn't smell like it's anything particularly harmful, but it does it does give your brain a little like happy swirl.
This is likely what they were drugged with. You can't hack people up like that if they're not in an altered state.
We've already found the weapon. There's a second site. Further south of town, a giant tree. I've warded off the area. Nasty lot. We found a broken axe. Nearby, we found a farm with a missing wheelbarrow inside of it. We've already got a list of the workers from that particular farm. Asmo's investigating the axe as we speak.
Wait.
Is this stuff youngberry wine, Nick?
It doesn't smell like it.
Okay. She's more correct.
And it's in much too small of a bottle to have been of any effect, if
That's
it were.
what I was thinking. Okay.
Okay. So, farm. 2 other bodies. Why spread them out? Why make a spectacle of one? And why stuff the other in an alley?
Because the first murder site that we found, it was an anti-Arcanonate display.
Right. Were the other 2 students male?
Lani?
Were the other 2, as in, were Gideon and Aiden both male?
Yes.
As far as you know, yes.
Both are more remote locations, though, not heavily trafficked. Farther out in a farm, and an alleyway in the slums. but all killed and displayed differently.
We know that there's at least 2 that are dead. One of them is unknown. None of them responded via sending messages.
Huh.
The third might be unconscious somewhere. It doesn't feel like they were behind a warding. I scryed on the person that was in possession of the axe, and they were able to ward off my scrying. Not through magical means, though.
Looks at Thermion.
Any of this? Helping? Information?
No.
You scried. You saw how many dead?
I know from the amount of blood and organs, there's at least 2 dead.
2 dead on your end.
At least.
Kylan third.
That's the thing, we didn't find any bones at the other site.
No.
Purely soft tissue and organs. I suspect that they used the axe to hatchet my people, and then move the organs to another location, probably with a stolen wheelbarrow.
Is there a time limit on sending, like, when it effectively can't be sent back?
It does not say as much. Let me go ahead and click.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now. Like, it says duration 1 round, but obviously they can't reply in 1 round. So I'm going to say at this point in time, Denier, you get a message in your head. Where am I? Ow! Oh God. What's going on? Where am I?
Do I recognize the voice?
Give me a history check. I want to see how familiar you are with each of your students.
11.
You interact with so many of them, and you're kind of in a panicked situation right now that you couldn't really get a good grasp on it. It did sound like a male voice, though.
Okay.
I will use minor illusion to replay the audio that I just heard to Thermion.
Thermion snaps his head. Thermion works with the children frequently.
That's Gideon. He's alive.
Did you hear anything else, Denier?
No, that was it.
We should
Thermion,
go to the
have you attempted to scry on any of the students since I first spoke to you?
I have. I found pieces of them, and in my rage, I did not scry for Gideon.
How do we do that? Can we do it now?
I've got 1 use left. I've got enough energy for 1 more spell.
I think now would be the time to use it.
Denier pulls out his orb, and he is going to attempt to cast Scry on Gideon. I assume that since I know the target, given that he's my student, I probably know him well. Let's see. Then he would need a DC 17, and his will save would be -5.
Yeah, no, he ain't making that.
He holds up the crystal ball for both of them to see as he focuses on it.
You see as the image sharpens on a dark-haired half-elf boy. He's covered in cuts and appears to be bleeding from various parts of his body. He's stumbling almost drunkenly. Looks to be kind of in an alleyway. He trips over a what appears to be like a refuse bin and knocks over, and a bunch of rats start scurrying over him. Nara, go ahead. Everybody, go ahead and make me a perception check. Nara, you have the best ears, so we'll see here.
21. Sorry.
Oh, I think that was persuasion.
God damn. Oh, yeah, that's persuasion.
No.
Damn. Burned a nat 20 on that.
Mwah, mwah,
17 nonetheless.
All right, Thermion. Nara, you just barely hear over the sound of a crack of thunder a clattering, not really nearby, but further down the road. It's kind of echoing off the street a little bit, but it is further north.
On the pixie stick and heads toward it. They'll figure out what she's doing, so.
As you start zooming down that way, you get closer and you start hearing, "Get off me! And as you kind of like Tokyo drift your stick around a corner,
Come around the corner.
You see that same half-elf boy currently besieged by a bunch of rats.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
He's
Okay.
currently trying to fight them off, but they are biting into his open wounds.
Oh my god.
Ah, Jesus Christ.
How can I even target like the rats? Not really. They're individual, I would imagine.
With a melee weapon, it is difficult, but not impossible. With a spell, difficult, but not impossible.
Okay. Okay. Wait. Hang on. I have. Oh my god. I'm just gonna run up and start hacking at rats, I guess.
Just starting to attack rats.
Just hacking and whacking and slapping.
Attack rats.
Hacking and whacking and slackety slap. All right. Sure. Are you just gonna? What are you using to attack the rats?
Django Muerte.
God damn. All right. Go ahead and give me.
Fuck these rats.
Yeah, fuck the rats. And it's gonna be ranged because she's gonna throw it and just like.
All right. Roll, but with disadvantage, since, as you said, they are numerous and covering him.
Yes. Oh, that's
that's just
what
the
I meant to
damage.
do. That's just the damage. Oh.
Oh.
That's that one.
Well, I got some bad news.
Fuck.
Well, good and bad, I guess.
It's a healthy blend.
Yeah.
I'm very upset right now.
The rats are scared off,
Oh, fuck
but the
me.
boy is very much unconscious and is on death's door.
Okay. Can I pour him a potion in his mouth?
You just might, but I need to make a death save for him real quick.
Okay.
Oh no!
And he already lost one by going well below 0, but he made this one, so you have enough time
Thank
to.
God. Health potion it is, right in his gullet. Baby.
He immediately he looks at you in the eyes for a moment. Where am I? And he falls unconscious. But he's stable.
Hooray! I didn't kill him by accident.
Hooray! That's
successfully.
He had exactly this many cuts when I got to him.
Yeah.
No, my God, this guy, he's so easily cuttable. Gosh.
Wow, he was just really cut up, you guys. It's crazy how cut up he was.
At speed, unless Denier, would you use feline agility?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, you would get there before Thermion. But you get there as Nara's pouring a health potion down his throat.
No one saw that. No one saw that. No one saw that.
Yeah, luckily he was around. Luckily he was around the corner when you threw Tango Muerte.
Thank God. Scared the rats. Hey, I scared the rats. All right.
So yes, Nara is there. The boy is unconscious but stable. He has many cuts around his like arms, his face. His knees appear to be a bit scraped up, and he seems to have some rodent bites about him.
Can I roll a medicine check to get as many clues as I can from him?
Go for it.
Don't medicine check the Jango Huertade attack.
That's a 22.
Fuck.
One of the wounds seems to be fresher than the other ones.
Investigate.
One that appears to be one that appears to be around his chest area. It seems to be a very wide slash, as opposed to many of the others that appear to be oddly shallow.
Nara's like swishing the blade around in a nearby puddle.
Head slowly turns and looks at Nara. Then the head starts to tilt on the side.
He is alive, so that's where we're gonna leave it.
And Nara makes sure that her head is facing away really quickly.
Also, Thermian's the guy.
What about me?
You were the one who instigated the whole hunt. You said, like, my favorite word.
He walks
Although
over.
I still haven't gotten anything to hunt yet.
He walks over to Gideon, kind of like scoops him up in a cradle.
Let's get him to Shelfter first. He will provide us our quarry.
Thermian, is it alright if I take the skull with me, so I can go talk to the guide?
We're all heading back to the school, if he's still there.
He will.
But if you'd like to carry it.
He looks to Denier, who he kind of like pulls the skull out from under his arm and hands it to you with reverence, Nara. You can see his hand as it like very gently sets it in your arms.
Denier reaches
and gives him a pat.
Denier reaches out and gently places a hand upon Thermian's shoulder. She is a servant of the Mother Death. If anybody deserves to carry her, it would be Nara.
He nods.
Let's get him back to some safety.
And he begins to walk up the street, cradling Gideon, leaving like you two kind of like further back if you wish to discuss anything.
He watches Thermian leave, looks towards Nara, gives a bit of a nod, and I would like to investigate the area. Particularly, like, he probably woke up in like a refuse bin, so I want to try to investigate and see if there's anything that may have been dumped with him.
Sure, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
10.
Everything back here seems very scattered. As you look further into the area, you think you found the hole he might have crawled out of, which appears to be a little makeshift hovel. You're only guessing due to the fact that there's like slight traces, like there's traces of blood in there that haven't been washed away by the rain yet.
So he was inside a place and he crawled out of it.
Yeah, like a hovel, like a real makeshift, like almost kind of like a box tent.
Mm-hmm.
Made out of old discarded building materials or containers.
They probably took care of the first two students and was saving him for another display.
I saved somebody. That's fucking great.
Nara will walk up to the little hovel thing and give it a once over. How was it built? Who put it, like, are there any tells of who might have made this little structure and any tell of where they might have gone at all?
That would definitely be an investigation.
Silly question as well.
As for like how well traveled the area is, that would be survival.
Not to think that now they're in the poor district right now, right?
14.
Yeah, in the slums.
Okay, I'll be on my way soon here. Like, I didn't want to interrupt that and make it all about me, but that was fucking cool. But yeah.
Investigation 14. You do find what appear to be scraps of rope. Like that look like they were recently like chewed on.
Okay. How nice is this rope? Is this like city rope or farm rope?
It's
rope.
Your pretty typical braided twine rope.
Lame. All right.
Yeah. Sorry, it's the finest silken rope.
Well, that would tell me a lot.
It would tell you a lot. Unfortunately, it's not that. It's very casual workman's rope.
Fine.
Almost closer to twine than it is to rope. Like it's got kind of like that medium thickness to it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what a 14 will get you.
Okay. I think that was it, right?
Yeah, and if you wanted to see like how traveled this area was, like you were saying, like where people might go, that'd be a survival.
20.
Looks like this particular hovel might have been here for a while. Seems some of the community might like pop in and out of here. There might be like territorial disputes between vagrants over it. Doesn't look like it's been too recently inhabited other than by Gideon, who was
placed there.
Yeah.
Got it. Does it? Okay. Okay. That's
this alleyway, not incredibly well traveled. I mean, you know, for the inner city, yeah, there are people that make shortcuts around here, but this is also a good area that if you make the wrong shortcut, you're probably going to get stabbed.
Got it. Okay. Then that is all. Aside from like watching for suspicious people as they leave, like who's watching them, how interested are they, that kind of thing.
Lani, I use my final spell above second level to cast Sending. I'm going to cast Sending to Asmo.
Alrighty.
We found the third student. They're alive, but gravely wounded. We're heading back to the school now.
Okay. I think Asmo will change his direction and go to the school now instead.
As you start heading back through the city, Asmo, actually, we'll cut to you here as everybody's now heading back towards the city. Urf will approach you after being given the information that you had, looking for essentially the den that dude was smoking in. Given what information he had his he hands you a note that essentially tells you that he had his people, like all of your people, go out to the known drug dens in the slums, and Mr. Bergen has been collected and is awaiting interrogation at the station.
Mr. Bergen.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. That's
the silver-haired dude with the missing eye and the mutton chops.
The one we scried on.
We got him. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah. Your troops went into the slums and went into the known drug areas and are currently collecting him and bringing him into the station.
Oh, okay. Shit. That's awesome. Then. Shoot. Asmo hears that. Does he get that information after Denier contacts him or right before it?
It's a little after. So basically, you were starting to walk towards the slums, and then as you got that information, you turned back, started walking through the city, and that's when Urf saw you and he ran up with the note.
Oh, is he now? Okay. We found the third one. as well. They went back to the magic school. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Good work, Irv. Good getting on top of that immediately. Didn't even have to ask you. You just knew to do it. And
I mean, I assume you've been passing information back and forth with your men in terms of who you need.
Well, after Asmo, pretty much after Asmo left the last meeting, he spoke to Irv immediately, brought him all up to speed on everything. And Asmo was more or less just going over all the information, trying to figure the best places to go into the slums. But looks like Irv hit the mother load immediately.
Yeah, you got your guys, and you delegate well.
I got a good guy to delegate to. So, I guess the question is right now: does Asmo, if he's waiting
Well, he's currently being collected, currently being transported.
whereabouts is he right now?
Irv, he pulls out a scrap of paper, shields it from the rain, kind of writes down, hands it to you, says maybe 10 minutes out.
I want to go walk with him. I want to head towards them and make sure he gets escorted.
Irv. And he will escort you towards, kind of a good vector to meet up with them.
Cross match with. Okay.
Yeah. Kind of walk down a side street into the slums towards the Maw. And sure enough, as you're heading around a corner, there's a good 5-troop squad escorting this guy in chains and shackles. He seems kind of dazed. Looks like they might have had to shake him around a little. He's not super roughed up, but he is definitely confused as he's looking around, and then he sees you. His eye appears slightly glazed over as you walk up to him.
To what do I owe the pleasure of this escort?
VIP treatment for our most important person.
Really?
Oh, you think that's funny? Wait till our conversation here.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be a good one.
So
Can't
how
even
much?
let a man self-medicate these days, huh?
I'm surprised someone like you didn't want to over-medicate and get away from what you did. Or at least.
Asmo just smirks.
Well, we can talk more about that later.
I suppose we will.
Asmo calls over.
Asmo
is going to. Okay, never mind. I don't need to do it this session. It's fine. Never mind. Continue walking here.
Yeah. One of the sergeants in command of this platoon walks over to you.
We found him in an opium den. He was compliant, but he had a little energy to fight, but he didn't. So,
Was he alone, or how many people were around him?
those that were awake scattered as we came in. Got Bartlett back there still talking to the owner. Gonna have to take him in too, obviously.
And we didn't know if he came in alone or if he came in with a couple friends.
We'll make sure to get a statement, sir.
Good.
Asmo was walking with. Asmo pushes the sergeant to the side, and Asmo walks up beside the suspect.
Oh, by the way, we found your prize.
My prize?
Oh yeah, you're a winner, don't you know? That's why we're escorting you.
Lucky me.
Oh yeah, but don't worry. City Constabulary managed to find your hatchet. You won't believe it. You did quite well in the axe throwing competition, I heard.
Axe throwing?
He just kind of chuckles to himself a little bit, clearly still a bit high.
Okay, I'm trying.
Something funny about winning a competition. You're a winner, right there, Bartlett?
I'm getting a full... Huh?
Quite the winner. What was his name? Was it Bartlett or was it?
This guy is Bergen. Bartlett is one of the guys, like one of the troops back at the.
Sorry.
Yeah. Quite a lot of winners that day. Any of your friends win that competition too there, Bergen?
I don't know how many of you parading through the streets.
Oh, just your lucky butt. So, I also saw your little, I also swung by your workplace today. Boss wasn't really satisfied with what you did.
If they got an issue with what I build, they can take it up with me. If they had to go all the way to you,
No.
they must have very deep pockets. Either that or you're cheap.
Oh, no, I'm not cheap. You're just one of those go-getters, aren't you? You're always working hard, right?
Yeah.
And that would be why you decided to cram a bunch of yumberry juice in the little shack there, huh?
I don't drink to forget my problems.
You certainly store it all to sell.
He just kind of shakes his. He just kind of shakes his head.
What I can't get is why you bring that to your workplace.
We're still walking, obviously.
You seem quite sure that you got me on something. I'll be real interested to see what you got.
Oh, don't you worry. We don't got you on one thing. We got you on a bunch of different things.
Oh, ain't I just the belle of the fucking ball?
I mean, we have just you, unless you got other names you can give me. Unless you're saying you're this level of a go-getter. Huh?
Oh, there's, Middick.
Middick.
Yeah, suck my dick.
Suck my dick, huh?
Uh-huh.
That's really good. You won't believe, would it be, this one? Asma punches him in the groin real hard, real quick. Right there. Oh, shoot. Oh, pick him up, guys. He tripped there and fell and hit him right in the dick.
Go ahead and roll unarmed damage. He's helpless, so. I think that's just your strength plus. What is it?
No, that was non-lethal damage I was going for.
Well, yeah, it's non-lethal, but it still hurts.
If it's an unarmed strike and you don't have Talbot Brawler, it's just 1 plus your strength.
Ah, okay. 1 plus strength, so whatever your strength is plus 1.
Oh my goodness, here I'm trying to. Okay. I haven't done a custom roll in a while. 1 plus my strength.
Yeah, whatever your strength stat is.
Yeah, I'm trying to. 1 second here. Where's my strength at? I have a good strength. I'm a warrior. I gotta have a good strength stat here. Sorry for the police brutality, everybody. This is a character I'm role playing. I believe in due process. Here we go. So strength. Oh god, I only have a 2 technically. I'm a finesse fighter.
Yeah, I know you're a dex fighter. So you punch him in the dick. You dealt 3 dick damage. So the guys have to drag him for a while.
You won't believe. Look at that. Needs help doing that too.
Asma just talks to Earth.
You put this guy in lock and key. You do not let anybody else get near him. Do you understand me? Put him in his own cell, separate of everybody else.
Earth nods, salutes Earth.
Good. As far as I'm concerned, if this is the guy in question, he's got friends that we don't have, and I don't think they're gonna like that he got caught.
And as you transport him into the constabulatory, get him shoved into a cell, while Thermion, Nara, and Denier take Gideon back to the school. Here is where we will end today's session.